welcome to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jamie. I'm a mindset coach and energy healer for nonconformists. Today's topic is going to discuss how whether imagined danger has caused jealousy in your life. And the reason why I say this is because for me personally, the way I've experienced jealousy is so wildly different from the universal themes. I don't find myself getting jealous because there's someone who is more attractive and more successful and younger than me, or I don't find myself being jealous because a friend of mine is more successful, and then I don't find myself like beating myself up and thinking like, oh, like that's so fucked up that you would think this and things like that. That's not the space that I come from. When I experience jealousy, it's actually very short term. And I realize it's because the way in which my body expresses jealousy is rooted in imagined danger. And it is actually linked to the kind of relationship that I have with my mother, the early experiences that I've had with females. And so it just is this, it's my mind's way of trying to protect myself. And once I realize that, I've really been able to shift how I respond when I get those jealousy triggers. Now, what I mean by that is, for me personally, I rarely like someone, but when I do, this person will introduce me to like a female friend or is talking to a woman, my initial thing is I get really jealous. I'm like, who is this person? Why is he talking to her? Why is she here? And that's the thought, but it's like it's showing up because I don't feel comfortable. I feel in danger. I feel very threatened. And it's because growing up, my mother would promise me things. And even as a child, I knew that she was lying to me, but I wanted so much to have a different experience with her, to give her the chance to finally be honest with me one day. And I made it mean that if she was honest with me, it's because I'm deserving of it, I'm worth it. And knowing that I was likely to get betrayed, I still chose to trust her. I put myself in a state of vulnerability. I risked being in pain. And then when I put myself out there because I really liked someone, because I really loved someone, because I wanted to be treated with respect in a positive way, I decided to be vulnerable. There was this woman that showed up and she betrayed me. She hurt me. And so that kind of like created this story in my mind that when I like someone, when I love someone, when I want the approval of someone, when I am feeling vulnerable and I know that I can get hurt, and a woman shows up, I'm going to get betrayed. That is the dialogue I'm literally reenacting that pattern, that fear, that trauma. And so in the beginning, I'll kind of feel that charge. And then after I get to talk to them or I'm observing the situation, I'm like, this isn't a threat. What are you worried about? And there have even been times where I've been like, you know what? I think she is a threat. Like, she legitimately is someone that he is interested in. And I think that there's something going on between them. And once I know, I'm actually okay with it, because uncertainty is really what makes me more uncomfortable than anything. And I know what it's like to like more than one person. And it doesn't mean that it's a threat, or I've been hurt before, so it's not the end of the world kind of a situation. For me, it was that I was so jealous because it was my way of my mind is saying, oh my God, you're in danger, you're in danger. And that really shifted me. And this is a trigger of jealousy that I've never heard anyone talk about. And that's why I really wanted to jump on here and share this with you, for any of you guys who may resonate with this. I mean, it makes a lot of sense that our history and jealousy that we may experience comes from, for us women especially, comes from the role and the experiences and exposure we had with our mothers growing up. And yet, I don't know why no one talks about it. And I wish someone had told me about it, because then I might have saved myself so much trouble. I literally would experience these short burst, 5-minute, like surges of jealousy, and then they'd go away. And then I wouldn't, and that was always like in the beginning when I liked someone. And I very rarely like someone. I mean, we're talking spans of years in between. So I kind of like had forgotten about it until recently. And now I'm like, whoa, that makes so much effing sense. I wanted to jump on here really quickly and share this with you guys for anyone who's meant to hear it. I don't have an action step for you yet because I feel like this is the kind of thing where if this is showing up, I don't think that the best thing to do is to respond to it right away, to react to it. I think recognizing that this is a fight or flight response is really important. I think that a lot of tools for jealousy is really rooted in looking at why are you jealous of this person. If you are upset that this person is prettier than you, it's because you feel some inadequacy, that you're not pretty, and do things to make yourself feel pretty. Remind yourself that you're beautiful, and then you won't feel threatened, right? It's like a mirror effect. And all of that makes sense. But I don't think that for me, that tool was really helpful. For me, it was an indicator of like, oh, this is an unresolved trauma that is continuing to show up. It's a pattern. It has nothing to do with the actual woman. She can be attractive. She can be exactly the kind of person that the guy that I'm interested in would date. It can be someone that he is dating, or it can be someone who physically isn't, according to my standards, very attractive, or comparatively, I'm way more attractive than this person, or he wouldn't find this woman to be attractive even if she is, and yet I'm upset. It can be like an older woman, it can be a younger woman. I just still would get threatened. And it's like the girl can be like 19 or something, and I'm just like, who the fuck is she? Kind of thing. So for me, it wasn't easy for me to get clarity around a lot of the familiar stuff. And I just think it's really important to explore, like, if these patterns keep showing up, really asking yourself, where is this pattern coming from? What is it triggering? How does this relate to your past rather than the present moment? Because I feel like when there's experiences of jealousy, the tendency is to fixate and obsess and get angry and poke blame at the person that you're feeling jealous toward, rather than looking inward within yourself, rather than going back in time, which with jealousy can actually be more valuable in a lot of situations. So I invite you to do that. But more than anything, just if you're feeling jealous, don't start obsessing over, I'm jealous of this person because why does she get to have this, and blah, 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 blah. Because as much as you may think you're doing it to express yourself, you're actually doing that as a way to overanalyze. There's so much headspace, and the answers don't exist in the headspace. The answers actually exist in your body. So when you find yourself being jealous, I'm not saying stop bitching because you should suppress how you feel, but the key is to understand it, to realize, to process it is really what it is. And the way that you react to it will either support with that processing, it'll support you with processing that, or hinder you from it. And if you're just constantly blaming the other person, you're hindering the processing aspect, which is so absolutely important. When you're jealous, it's an indicator that there's an unhealed trauma, a sense of inadequacy, some sort of unresolved pain that has to be addressed. And you deserve it. So give yourself that permission. All right? Thanks so much for watching, you guys. Bye.